Hey there, Gobbly. It is I once again, Lucky Tempest, your favorite Discord shilling, shape-shifting VTuber. Here to give you some background noise while you eat lunch, do your studying, or whatever it is you use me for, you naughty little gremlin. Wink. Today I'd like to take some time to glaze one of my favorite video games of all time and try to imprint onto you as to why you might also fall in love with this fantastical MMORPG. Speaking of falling in love, a word from our lovely sponsor, me! Have you ever found yourself wishing you had a brain-rotted VTuber to meow at you while they stream? Or maybe you haven't found the right Discord group for yourself yet. Do you feel an overwhelming amount of fury at the sight of how Bandai Namco is handling the Digimon franchise? If you said yes or no to any of these questions, then you would be a perfect test subject. Go school Goblin or Gremlin for me! You should absolutely swing by the streams on Twitch and check out the Discord in the description below. Now that I'm done securing the imaginary bag, I'd like to redirect your attention to this. This! As some of you may know, I recently finished the base game of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, and after taking 125 hours to complete a roughly 50-hour portion of the game, I can confidently say it was some of the best time spent in a video game. My journey started off as a lowly adventurer pugilist, as I took odd jobs from the three main starting cities of Ul'dah, Limsa, and Gridania. Which city I started in was dictated by which job I picked when coming into the wonderful world of Erosia. Seeing as how I'm big into the FGC, I couldn't resist the idea of running around and punching everything in sight. Well, because of that, I started working at the local Ul'dah Tavern in an adventurers guild called the Quicksand.
Meow.
An aptly named establishment considering the malms upon malms of desert surrounding the area. What's a malm, you ask? Oh, that's just what the Erosians refer to as miles. Yards are yalms, by the way. What y'all know about that? Quickly found myself working for the Quicksand's caring and endearing proprietor Momodi of the Lalafell race. A race of smaller stature whose large emotions and fidgety tendencies are adorable as they are integral to my enjoyment of the game. Momodi and I grew close as I began to take on more and more important jobs for her. Days turned into weeks as I punched holes through various monsters. What had started out as an employer giving their employee insignificant tasks quickly became a trusted friend and ally entrusting the fate of a city to my capable wall-smashing hands. I was introduced to Nanamo ul-Namo, the Lalafell Sultana of Ul'dah, and her right-hand man Rabban Alden, the commander of one of the three grand companies known as the Immortal Flame. I met new friends along the way, like a Lalafell with cotton candy colored hair named Baka Kaido-kun, who became a watermelon genie and taught me more about the world. There was also a fluffy and stoic aura called Taiga, who came pre-packaged with their insane luck dragon luck stat. Super helpful, by the way. A mischievous mage named Terra_Tempora was, like me, newer to the world, but unlike me, they would sometimes withhold healing during dungeons for funsies. Also, fuck you, we still completed that dungeon, asshole. Thanks to Baka, I was fortunate enough to sell my soul after reading a TOS longer than apples to join a lovely guild, called Misfits, ran by the capable and kind Siren. Jokes aside, Siren and the entire Misfits crew are a bunch of kind-hearted and helpful individuals. Anytime I was online, I never felt alone as they were always chatting or happy to help answer my questions. One of the few things I learned very early on in my Final Fantasy XIV journey is that even if you weren't looking for a friendly and inclusive community, the residents of Erosia would provide it to you anyway. Being a newcomer, or sprout as they call it here, isn't so scary. In fact, it's a special experience, and one day I hope I get to pay it forward when I'm no longer a sprout and give others the warm welcome I've been pampered with. As time went by, my friends list grew, and so did my responsibilities in Erosia. It didn't take long for Momodi and Nanamo to begin asking me to undertake even greater challenges. Local beastmen began using the power of their gods called primals to stir up trouble. So, off I went to slay a primal of flame known as Ifrit. The battle was fierce, but ultimately my mysterious power called the Echo spelled demise for the massive beast. Due to the Echo giving me some kind of, precognitive ability, I could see where Ifrit's big attacks would be landing ahead of time, so I could reposition before continuing to punch and kick the shit out of this inflamed gutter lizard. Once defeated, I was hailed as the hero of Ul'dah. Welcoming my title, I had little time to rest as I learned of a great plot against Erosia and its people, and what would soon be my role in attempting to save them. Now, a lot more shenanigans happened between that and where I am now in the story, and even though the game has been out for a while, if this is your first time hearing about the story of A Realm Reborn, I strongly recommend you circle back to this video once you've finished it. Because I will be getting into spoiler territory, and I think going in blind is the best way to experience this. Alright? You gone? No? Well... You see, the great cities of Ul'dah, Gridania, and Limsa Lominsa were fresh off the back of a war that ended 5 years prior. This war ended with so many people displaced, broke, and as Magic the Gathering players like to call it, they had a bad case of player removal. This led to economic suffering, the struggle to keep back the beastmen of their respective lands, political conspiracy, and a feeling of great loss that weighed heavily on the mind of many. But even with so much despair, many like-minded, hopeful individuals saw the light and worked hard hand in hand to create a better future for Erosia. The Grand Companies protected its citizens, the Adventurers Guilds created jobs and resolved many of the smaller scale problems and happenings. I became a part of the solution. Slaying Ifrit wasn't enough. There was more work to be done in each region. More primals to slay, more political differences to settle, more hearts to wrench from the darkness that had taken hold of them. As I continued to earn my keep, I made friends with another capable adventurer who kept showing up wherever I was, especially if something dastardly went down. This stalker kept following me like that one rumor that's going around saying I'm afraid of finishing my Hatsune Miku video. Yeah, right, like I've ever be afraid. Ah! Turns out this creepy white-haired stalker is actually a majestic washboard abs having representative of the good guy Illuminati called the Scions of the Seven Stalkers. The Scions of the Seven Stalkers of the strange stalkers of the the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and they are tasked with protecting Erosia from all things bad. Ooh, secret task force, where have I seen this one before? Anyway, the main friendlies not to be trifled with are Minfilia, the echo-wielding substitute teacher. Leader of the Scions is the glue that keeps the chair legs from breaking under the weight of Erosia's fat ass. Without her, everyone will... Wait, is she getting kidnapped? Elphanod, the also leader? I'm still not quite sure what this little shithead actually does, but he is important. Papalimo is yet another sassy Lalafell that has an amazing voice actor, and yeah, that's actually about it. Uranger is a hooded Elysian, and honestly a good utility card in Triple Triad. Ishtola is a Miqo'te conjurer that Twitter likes to respectfully enjoy artwork of, one-handed of course. And Ida is a bum. Bancred is my personal stalker and nominee for Bestie of the Year. Even if he did accidentally betray us, but whoopsie, it's okay because he's just a silly Thancred. All the Scions, and soon to be myself included, are busy juggling our full-time job of saving the world and keeping Tataru, another Scion, from getting the shotgun above the kitchen sink. No, Tataru, put it down! You can't shoot onto the dick! What's wrong with me, man? Turns out some local Garlean dickheads had a bone to pick with the current state of the world and wanted to use absolute power to guarantee everyone's safety and prosperity, yada 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 yada. Really, they're just a bunch of techie junkies with magic resources and a bricked up sugar daddy called La Habrea with big fuck off magic powers because he belongs to a race called the Agents or some shit. I don't know, it's Final Fantasy, man. All I know is he possessed my boy Thancred, and for that I had to punch him in the face to ruin his plans, is what I would say. But while the world was busy burning and Minfilia was handcuffed in Gaius von Balsaur's dungeon, I was busy frolicking, gambling, glamoring, minigaming, socializing, and fraternizing at the Gold Saucer.
Here it is. There's the magic moment. Yeah, that's it. God, only 10 spins.
Play Golden Eagle today to earn 10x free spins in order to win the gazillion-dollar jackpot.
Yeah. Sure, the world as I know it might end, but let's face it, after working my life away to protect Ul'dah and Momody's fine establishment, the Quicksand, I deserved a little vacation, you know, a little girly time. Yeah, I'll be the first to admit I might have gotten a little carried away with the G-posing. That's what the cool kids like to call selfies. Playing scratch-offs and dueling in Triple Triad, but that's all behind me now. After letting Minfilia rot in prison and forcing Thancred to listen to the mad ramblings of La Habrea for another 80 hours, I decided it was finally time to do what I do best, put my fist directly into the face of whatever problem was in front of me. I managed to fell some dragonkin, secure an airship, knock the amnesia out of Sid, a godlike engineer, quell a few gods, murder some locals, and break a really expensive looking toy that was Gaius van Balsaur's. He spent all of his time and resources making it, so I guess calling it the ultimate weapon was a bit of a stretch, but you know. Anyways, oh yeah, that's right. Turns out I'm something called a Warrior of Light, and my echo powers allow me to do all sorts of cheap, overpowered shit. Anywho, after thwarting the plans of Gaisu Van Balsad, I did literally everything except continue being the badass that I was meant to be. That brings me to currently. After 125 hours of being in this lovely world, I finally fixed all of its issues and brought peace to the land. Surely nothing will... What's that? There's a post-game? With multiple expansions to go and hundreds of hours of main story quests left, I can confidently say my experience with Final Fantasy XIV has been nothing short of life-changing. I've made friends, created awesome videos, got cute clothes, and lately I'm even trying out other classes. I could gush about the game's fantastical soundtrack, the world building, the characters, and more, but I really want to focus in on a few things before I get on out of here. My original plan getting into Final Fantasy XIV was to play it solo for a little while and then go back to playing other things, but the community had other plans. Anytime I needed help, there was always someone reaching down, grabbing me by the nape of the neck and telling me what to do. It was actually really helpful. People were more than willing to do a little fantasy role-playing or just act goofy while spamming emotes. Complete strangers would rock up to me and give me odd items like watermelons or cute stuff like minions, which led me to developing my own reward system of giving people potatoes in return as like some kind of token. What I'm trying to say is that even if I didn't go out of my way to interact with others, I never felt alone, and because of that, Final Fantasy XIV is now my ultimate comfort food of gaming. If you've been putting off picking up this for the same reasons I did because it seems too intimidating or you feel like you missed out on too much content already, I implore you to set those feelings aside and just give it a try. Once you get out of the character creator and step foot into Erosia, I promise it will be worth it. Side note, I took a really long time to get through base, A Realm Reborn, because I was willing to soak in the world and didn't rush to the main story quest. I only did what I fancied in the moment, and it was more than worth it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and advise that you do every single side quest and every single thing. I wouldn't recommend that because there's going to be times to grind those side quests later when you're trying to level other classes, but that's for a different video. I should also point out that my experience may also be different than yours and your mileage may vary because I had people coming up to me because they saw my videos or streams, and that was an added bonus to the normal interactions I would have already had. So that might be worth keeping in mind. I hope I've done a decent job giving you something to consider if you've been on the fence, and thank you to my well-endowed green freak on a leash for making it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Nya.